Hey guys, welcome back to ED Figure Unboxing. If you're finding me for the first time, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the future content. In this video, we're going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Jiraiya from Naruto Shippuden. And I'm really happy for this release. For those of you who follow me on a regular basis, you guys know that I am a diehard Naruto fan. And this is probably the only line that I really care about. Meaning, I will get really upset if this line gets cancelled, more than anything else. It's really sad, but based on what we heard so far, the likelihood of this line getting cancelled is really high. But it's understandable at the same time, right? Because Bandai could be making another Goku, Star Wars figures, DC Marvel, Kingdom Hearts Street Fighters, they're everywhere nowadays. I think they're spreading themselves a little bit too thin, and that's indirectly killing the Naruto line. Because people just don't have that kind of money to spend, right? On so many series. But yeah, do let me know in the comments on what you think. I do have a lot more to talk about, but instead of me bore you with my rant for 10 minutes, I think I'm just gonna pin post on the comment section below. And yeah, I hope you guys can really start spending money on the Naruto line, start pre-ordering it, and don't wait on themselves. But anyways, let's give Jiraiya Sensei some respect. Here's the left of the box, here is the right of the box, and here is the back of the box. And this is probably by far the best Naruto figure I've seen so far. The sculpt and paint seems to be really nice, and let's bust this thing open and see what we got. And here we have the figure still in inner packaging, and he does come with a fair amount of accessories. But the sad thing is, most of the accessories they include in here is based on the arc when Naruto was still a kid. And we don't even have a kid Naruto, so I'm not sure why they're doing this. But regardless, it's still amazing for what it is. And I'm really happy that they include 3 interchangeable faces. But anyways, let's check out the figure itself. Alright, so here we have the figure itself, and I have to say, I think this is hands down the best Naruto S.H.Figuarts Bandai has done so far. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a fanboy, I'm biased, and I really want you to like the figure so you will support the line. No, I genuinely think this is the best figure they've done so far. I know I say this all the time with all their latest release, but that just means Bandai is getting better and better with each figure they make. And let's take a closer look at the figure. Everything is very nicely painted and sculpted. My paint job is really clean. And I think they captured the likeliness of Jiraiya very well. Do let me know in the comments on what you think, but I think this is basically perfect. As good as it gets. From 2D to 3D, right? It's really nice. And I think the most important thing to point out here is that this figure is using all the latest technology. Like, this rubbery soft material is probably the softest I have experienced from any figures. More soft than Figma and other S.H.Figuarts. Like, even softer than Ryu's gi if you have Ryu to compare with. And yeah, I kind of wish Itachi, Madara, and Sasuke have this kind of skirt when they were doing them, but there's nothing we can do about that now. Just look at this. Really nice. But anyways, I think we can jump straight into the articulation. And for the articulation, let's quickly go over from the neck down. He can look up about this much, look down about this much, and you can turn his head no problem. And the ponytail is on a ball joint, which is really nice. And the butterfly shoulder is probably the best I've ever seen from any other figures. Like, it's really smooth, nothing is hindering. And it does have a ball joint over here, and you do have a little bit of shoulder swivel, bicep swivel, and you can curl about this much, and you do have the ball wrist. And for the ab crunch, you can bend forward about this much, which is quite a lot. And you can bend backwards about this much, kind of hindered by the outfit over here, but that's okay. And you do have some very nice side-to-side movement. And for the leg, you can kick up about this high. You do have the older pull-down method. You have thigh swivel, you can curl about this much, and you do have side-to-side pivot and toe hinge. And I like how the sandal is not like molded onto the foot. That's really nice. And yeah, the articulation is really nice for a figure like this. He has a very difficult design. But anyways, let's jump straight into the accessories. And for the accessories, we can start with the default face. And like I talked about earlier, I think they did an amazing job with the face. It's basically perfect in my opinion. And next up, we get a confident smile, or a expression he makes when Naruto is showing progress with his training, and it looks really good as well. And then we get a trust me or don't worry kind of expression. And lastly, we have a serious or angry expression, and it looks amazing as well. And I think this is a great example of good expression choices, right? I can't decide which one I like best. Like, they all look very good to me, and I feel like they didn't do this enough. But here, they did a really good job. And for the interchangeable hands, first off we get a pair of displayable hands, and they're very nicely painted and sculpted. One thing that's kind of annoying is that you have to like kind of take this out, but it's not a big deal, especially if you have experienced this with Iron Man figures. This is always hard on the camera. Let me just cut it. And next up, we get a pair of hands to hold the popsicles and the novel. Very cool dual-purpose hand. You can just take this off. There's like a peg hole in there, and you can slide the novel onto his hand. Let me just quickly do that. Wait, this is always hard on the camera, I swear. Anyways, that's really cool. And one thing to note is that this is actually nothing perverted. I believe this is the heroic story he wrote about a ninja who never gives up, and his name is Naruto. Very cool. And then we have one left hand that has a little mark on it. This is the difference between the previous displayable hands. And yeah, I forgot exactly what this is, but I believe he drew this on Naruto's hand when he's teaching the Rasengan. But do let me know in the comments. And lastly, we get one left hand to hold the Rasengan. The Rasengan is very nicely painted and sculpted. Very nice piece of translucent plastic. It's probably my favorite out of all the Rasengan they released so far. But again, I feel like this Rasengan is kind of for teaching purposes though. Really stupid that they're giving us this kind of accessories, including the popsicles and everything, and not have a kid Naruto. But anyways, it's amazing for what it is. Still very cool. And yeah, I believe that's it for the accessories, and let's check out some action poses. Anyways, that was just some quick posing, and I hope you guys find it helpful. And after playing around with it, this figure has quickly become one of my favorite. Very, very fun to play with. The only issue I have in terms of articulation is that it can't really do the Iron Man landing pose. But not many figures can do that anyways, and if you really want to, just make a little cut on the skirt and you should be able to do it. Other than that, I kind of wish they had given us a pair of ninjutsu hands or like a bigger Rasengan. But I don't think that's necessarily the fault of the figure either, right? Because this is clearly the version of Jiraiya when he was teaching Naruto how to use the Rasengan. And back then, he didn't really do much. So in that sense, I feel like they have given us enough accessories. And I kind of appreciate Bandai going this route. Because instead of giving us like an incomplete Jiraiya, they give us like a specific version of Jiraiya. And I really, really like that. What I'm trying to say is, just look at Rock Lee, right? They try to give us the normal face, the drunken face, and the 8-gate face. And what ends up happening is that we don't have enough of anything. Like, we don't even get a fist hand for the 8-gate. That's just really, really ridiculous to me. It would have been better if they just gave us 2 versions of Rock Lee, in my opinion. Same goes for Naruto, right? And for Madara, they gave us a random reincarnation face while everyone complains about the sandals not being right. Of course it's not right. It's a completely different version of Madara with the reincarnation face. I don't know. But I feel like they could have easily given us like a Sage Mode Jiraiya face, but they didn't do that, thank God. Because if they do that, they would have to give us the Sage Mode legs, the Sage Mode hands, and the 2 frogs, right? So yeah, I think it's okay. Hopefully one day we can see the Sage Mode Jiraiya, but who knows. Anyways, let's check out some size comparison. And for the size comparison, let us start with the S.H.Figuarts Naruto figures. And as you guys can see, Jiraiya towers over everyone, which is really awesome in terms of scale. And next up, we have some Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts. And then we have some Street Fighters S.H.Figuarts. I can't wait to get my Akuma tomorrow. Some American IP S.H.Figuarts. Amazing Yamaguchi, Venom, and Wolverine. And then we have some Mezco 112 collective figures. And lastly, we have some recent Figma figures, and let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, of course I highly recommend the figure. If you're a big fan of Naruto, you should definitely get this. And I'm not only saying this because I'm a diehard Naruto fan, it's because Bandai actually did a really good job this time, and you will have to be blind to not see their effort. I'm gonna say this again, they could have easily made another Goku and Vegeta and called it a day, but instead they spent the time and resources on this figure, and I really appreciate that. I know $75 is really steep for a lot of people, but Jiraiya is a really big figure, so you know, that's essentially more plastic, and we're paying for the research and development, right? This is just based on conjecture. I don't really know how much money Bandai are spending behind the scenes, but I'm guessing it's relatively more expensive and time consuming for them to make a Naruto character versus a Dragon Ball character, right? But anyways, I think that's it from me. Do let me know in the comments on what you think. And this is Eric. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and check out my online store. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.